Chapter 21. My words cause Raph to stumble back while blinking nonstop. It's just enough of a distraction for me to see my escape. I reach out quickly and grab my necklace back. Then I spring into action, pushing past him while he is slightly off balance and slightly out of his mind. Looking out past the churchyard, I know where I'm headed, and I need to get there fast. Dodging around him, I jump over what's left of the garden plot. Ahead of me is the dark woods, and behind me is dark hatred. Only one choice, upwards and onwards. The entry to the woods is just across the grassy area, surrounded by a thicket of bushes and tall grasses. Please, please, family, hear me, I yell internally. It's as if my worst nightmare is coming true, the one where I have no voice and cannot, hard as I try, cannot scream. But this is real. I can hear Raph cussing behind me. He's close enough that I can make out his boots scraping through the garden and across the backyard of the church as he follows me. You should have never have done that, he roars. He wears his anger like a cloak. Turning behind me is no use. I know it will only slow me down. I have to use my instincts to gauge how far away he is and how to find safety. All of my mental energy keeps running through the directions my grandma gave me. But there's at least 7 paths leading in different directions. Grandma, which one? Which one will lead me to you? The incline through the forest is getting steeper, and the higher I run, with tree branches whipping my face with each step I take. Like a drum, my heartbeat pounds in my chest. The pulsing blood rushes like a locomotive in my ears. It's so loud, it's blocking out the footsteps behind me. But this time, it's so different from what I felt at the powwow. Now I feel my body mingling with and battling darkness. Raph has a gun. Would the ladies making lunch in the church hear the commotion? Can my family hear this? Ah! A scream escapes me as I feel a hand grab my ankle. Turning behind me on the steep path, I see Raph's face contort with rage. He begins pulling me towards him. My leg burns with pain as he twists my ankle, trying to get a better hold. Sweat beads on his forehead as he yanks me over the rough branches. I can feel a warm trickle of blood seep down my leg. Now, shut up and get back here. Give me back that necklace. I'll give it to my dad so maybe he can just leave it be, he bellows. The ground is still wet from this morning's rain, and his left foot slips. It skids just enough for me to kick free, grab a sapling, and veer to the left under the rotted tree that has fallen. Just like your ma, running away from Indians. His words frighten me, but I can tell by the echoing sound I'm getting farther away from him. Up ahead, I can see a clearing on a hilltop. Is that where the cemetery is? Is that where the graveyard is? Where my family is? After 3 or 4 minutes, I glance behind me to look for Raph. To my amazement, the path is clear in back of me. The path in front of me is clear. I stop and lean against a tree, trying to catch my breath, my body doubling over. I've felt alone before, but this is altogether something else. To be pursued by a force who... Run! My body overtakes my brain as it spots someone running back up the path towards me. The only place to go is up to the clearing, and that's exactly where I head. Reaching the top, I don't stop to look over my shoulder this time. I can't take that chance. To my right is the cemetery on the open crest of the hill, but I can't see anyone there. There is no one there. How can this be? You said you'd be up here at the cemetery. Where are you when I need you the most? I decide my only chance is to run up and across to the other side of the hilltop graveyard, and to head back down. If I can double back and swing down and around this hill, I'll end up back at the little church, back by people, back by family, away from Raph. It's only about 25 yards across the clearing to get back down in the cover of trees. I can do this. Like a track star setting her foot on the block, I hear "go" in my head and jump into action. At the end of the clearing, there's a small construction machine, a backhoe, which is in my way, so I have to veer to its right. I knew you'd come running back this way. An arm grabs me. I run right into Raph. He was hiding behind the backhoe. I must have gotten turned around back in the woods. That's the only way he could have gotten ahead of me. Ow! Raph, let go. You're hurting me. I never did anything to hurt you or your family. Holding my wrist, he whispers, Yeah, well, as they say, my girl, like mother, like daughter. I must have a puzzled look on my fear-filled face. Oh, you're just like your ma. I can tell you are. She hurt my pops. She hurts us still. But what are you talking about? What did she do to you that makes you hate me so much? For a second, the question softens him. Then, regaining himself, he answers, My dad loved her. Told me one time he would have done anything for her. But she never loved him. Said she could never love anyone who didn't want to better the world. Told him he was greedy. She always said, You have to better the world, not just live in it. I see my chance to talk some sense into him, but he still has a firm hand on my wrist, and now I can see his other arm has a firm hand on his gun. So she didn't love your dad. You all can be happy still. I've seen you driving around town with your mom and dad. At least that's something. Let the past be. Of course, it's a lie. I mean, I did see them drive around town together, but his mom never had a smile on her face, just a look of solemn acceptance. For a moment, time stops as he holds his head down and sighs, the deep breaths of a person whose soul is wounded. And then I feel the grip on my hand tighten. Sides, he says with darkness shadowing his face. I said your ma owes us for what Dad gave her, and since she ain't here, you need to pay up. Give me that fancy gold necklace now. An alarm goes off in my head, and again I know what prey feels like in the hunt. With that, he brushes up against the large backhoe while stepping closer to me. The gun he still has with him clanks against the machine's door, but as he lets go of my hand to push the door out of his way, I jab him in the elbow and fly around him again, leaping into space. That's the last thing I remember. No, make that the last thing I remember Raph saying. I tumble into darkness. A total blackness devoid of any of the five senses, except one, my sense of sound. I hear it, and then I hear it again. Bang! Bang!